Hi, I'm Scott, and we have a Bolt EV here, and we're going to be doing a road trip today. We'll be going about 170 miles from eastern Kansas up to southeastern Nebraska, and then coming back tomorrow. So the round trip will be 340 miles. And about halfway to our destination, we're going to stop and charge at a level 3 charger, even though we don't really need it for the range, just to be safe. Shut the door and open it again. It shows you your range. It's 233 miles. Why don't you zoom in there, Deborah, so we can see it. All right, here we are ready to go. The car is started up. We're showing you the instrument panel so you can see our range here, 234 miles, and I think it went up a mile. And the way we have our instrument panel set up, it's, I think what they call the advanced instrument panel or something like that. You have a choice of 3 different ones. Anyway, let's get on with our trip. We have 147 miles of range. We're going to be stopping in St. Joe for their level 3 charger. According to Google Maps here, we have 21 minutes to our stop. See, we're going 63 miles an hour. They give you a green ring. You can show the instrument panel, Deborah. When you're going at a speed that's slow enough, they give you a green ring, and it seems like they get that until you're going about 63 or 64, and then it turns yellow to let you know that your fuel economy is starting to drop off rapidly. Not that it's fuel, you know, it's electricity, but you know what I mean. And right now we're doing 2 kilowatts of power right now. We're going downhill slightly, so it doesn't need much power. And I did a reset on our trip meter about 51 miles back, and since then we've been doing 3.7 miles per kilowatt hour, which isn't bad. We normally do around 4, so 3.7 isn't bad when you're going 63 miles an hour. And you can see we're in L gear. They give you a choice between L and D for gear. L stands for low. It acts like it's in a low gear, but it's not really in a low gear. It's really in the same gear. The car only has 1 gear. It never really shifts gears like any electric car. But L means that it engages engine braking if you release the accelerator pedal, so you hardly ever have to use the brake. It's a feature we really like. We're at the charging station in St. Joe, and I'm parking the car. You can see that we have this surround vision feature on our Chevy. I'm pretty sure you can get it with any Chevy. It doesn't have to be electric. But you can see a top-down view of your car, and this is the front camera. Just makes it easier to park, and you can see the charging stations over here. We found it using the Chargepoint app. Wasn't that hard. They give you these little cards. You can also use your cell phone. And we got our port here. Since it's a level 3 charger, you're going to have to use the lower part of it as well as the upper part. Then what do? There's some pictures here that show you what to do. They give you 2 different kinds of connectors here. This is the one we want. It's called a combo. So the picture, see, this is the demo. The demo is the kind you don't want. The combo is the kind you want for a Bolt EV. And it shows that you plug it in, and then you lock it, and then you unplug it. And you just plug this in. You hear it latch. Here. There you go. There's a little picture here. Just checking the card. Connecting. All right. Looks like it's charging. It says the car is at 60%, which sounds about right. This is how many seconds it's been charging so far. This is the energy that we're getting in kilowatt hours. This is the power in kilowatts. It's on fast charging. Deborah, why don't you get up close with the video camera? You can see it says it's fast charging. 80% complete in 20 minutes. Okay, we got our car charged up to 80%. All I had to do was wave my card on my phone in front of this little picture here, and then push the stop button, and then you unlock your car, because if you don't unlock your car, it won't let you pull out the plug. By the way, we moved our car over one space. You should get an email later telling you how much electricity you used and how much it cost to do the charge. All right, we're at 178 miles now of range after this charge. You can see we have, what do they call that? Rear cross traffic alert, which is nice, and we got this surround vision and rear camera. So let's get back on the road. I just want to show you a neat feature that they have in Chevy automobiles now. It's this rear view mirror that has you're actually looking through the rear camera, but you can switch it to work like a normal mirror if you want to, so either way. There's also the, well, I'm not going to use it now, but the windshield washer for the rear also has a washer that washes the rear view cameras. There's actually two of them back there on the freeway heading up to Nebraska City. We booked a room at a Best Western that has a free level 2 charging. You go into energy and charging, and you click on immediate charging. And when we say 12 amps, which would let it charge a bit faster than 8 amps. You have to scan your card first. It doesn't release the plug until you scan your card. So your card is now authorizing. It says you can unplug it. There. And over here, this is what the Bolt EV always does. When you plug in the charger, you get a flashing green light here. When it flashes twice like that, it means it's about half full. When it flashes 3 times, it means it's 3/4 full. When it flashes 4 times, it means it's almost full. And when it's solid, it means it's full. So we should be good to go. We just let it charge for a while. This kind of charger should give us somewhere around 12 miles of range per hour of charging. It's not a real fast charger. It's what they call level 2. It says we're getting 6 kilowatts. Alright, if you lock it twice with the key fob, it will set off an alarm if someone tries to take the charger out of your car. We did a little bit of shopping and we're going to turn in for the night. We're going to put it on immediate charging, and let's go back. There's this thing under energy settings where you can put it on Hilltop Reserve. I kind of like using that because it limits the charge that you get to about 80% of the battery, and that's actually better for the battery, not to charge it all the way. But the reason why they call it Hilltop Reserve is it gives you a lot of reserve, where if you start off going downhill, the regenerative braking kind of like has some battery capacity left to fill up. That's why they call it Hilltop Reserve. Alright, so I got it on Hilltop Reserve, and the charging, that's where we were. We're putting it on immediate charging, and it says that if we start now, it should be complete by 10:30 p.m. and right now it's 8:18, so it's a little over 2 hours to go from 150 miles all the way up to the Hilltop. Is usually around 200. Okay, we're ready to depart. Just to let you know what we did last night, we charged it on Hilltop Reserve. I charged it up until we had about 212 miles on the battery, which was, they said it was around 85%, and I shut it off before it was actually done. And then I figured we could let it sit overnight at about 85% and then charge it up almost to 100% this morning, which we've been doing. If you look and see where we are, we're at 237 miles, and it's not quite finished. You see, it says it's still charging, but we'll say that's good enough. It says it will be done by 9:30, and right now it's what? It's 8:55, so it actually could charge for another 35 minutes. But we're saying that's good enough, and all we have to do is unplug it. and put it back in the receptacle here. Let's get back on the road. On our way back home, we're on the freeway, going 64 miles an hour, 197 on the battery. Something else I forgot to mention was this green arc here. If it's pointing up, it means that you're driving in an efficient way. You can expect to get even more miles out of the battery if you keep it up. And if you get a yellow arc pointing down, it means that you're driving in a not so efficient way. It might not be your fault, it might just be that you're going uphill or something. But if that continues, then you can expect less range on your battery. Another thing I forgot to mention was this. You have a handbrake on the left side of your steering wheel, and if you apply that handbrake, it applies engine braking kind of aggressively, and you'll slow down at a pretty good rate. If the car's in D, it will apply braking, engine braking. If the car's in L, when you take your foot off the accelerator pedal, you do get engine braking, but then if you apply the handbrake, you get additional engine braking, so it slows you down pretty aggressively. And we find that we really don't have to use the foot brake all that often. For example, if you're approaching a signal at 50 miles an hour and it turns to yellow and you want to stop, you'll need the foot brake for that. It also means that you'll hardly ever have to replace your brake pads because you don't really engage the brake pads all that often. We did some calculations and figured out that we could make it all the way home, but we'd only have about 20 miles to spare on our battery pack, and that's cutting it kind of close. And also they say it's not a good idea to run your batteries less than 30% because it's just not good for the overall life of the batteries. So we decided to stop in St. Joseph, Missouri and get some charge at their level 3 charger. We let it charge for about 15 minutes and got something to eat at a restaurant there. It charged us back up to about 80%, so now we're at 176 miles of range, so we have more than enough to get home. If you focus on the mirror there, you see the yellow light. It's the blind spot alert or something like that. We're almost home on the home stretch, just a few miles to go. We're at 102 miles of range left. Successful trip. Any range anxiety that we may have felt was unfounded. In review, any frustration that I might have felt, I think I felt kind of frustrated when we pulled into the hotel and I saw that a car was parked right in front of the charging station, and the car was not electric, but you could park kind of on the other side on the gravel there, so my frustration wasn't really warranted. Everything went okay at the other charging station, and I would say it was a successful trip. We had some fun up in Nebraska, did a little sightseeing, and that should do it. Thanks for watching. Alright, we're going to do another video about the handbrake or paddle. It's on the left side of the steering wheel. This way you can see it better. It makes the car slow down because of engine braking.